All right, this is it, the Apartment Building Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Blank, and I'm always excited, but today I'm actually extra excited because finally I have the man, the one and only Robert Kiyosaki on the show, and better yet, I was able to interview him in person on the Real Estate Guys Summit at Sea Cruise that we did in April, and it's just a fabulous environment. I've been there now for 3 years. And you get to hang out with people like Robert. Now, Robert's not the easiest person to approach. He's a super, famous kind of guy. He's kind of intimidating, and it takes a while to warm up. And so I had a chance to have dinner with him and interview him on the ship. So if you are just a quick aside from the Real Estate Guys, because I love these guys, the Real Estate Guys. Their training is excellent. Their events are excellent. And so I put together a special page just so you have everything together, because they do have an upcoming training at the end of June, which is their How to Win Funds and Influence People. So if you want to check that out, go to themichaelblank.com/guys, and I have all of their upcoming events in there because I love them so much. Now, as you might notice, they actually have some competing events to where we teach about syndication, but I don't care. I like these guys so much. I love hanging out with the people they attract. So I'm gonna tell you about those events. Speaking of events, we also have our event a month later in Dallas, July 26, 27. It's called Deal Maker Live. Tickets are at themichaelblank.com/event. And Robert Helms of the Real Estate Guys actually speaking at that event as well. I couldn't get Robert, though, because he's going to be out of country. He's going to be in Mexico with Tom Wheelrout. And they're also traveling with Europe a little bit more as well. So 2 events coming up, end of June, end of July. themichaelblank.com/guys for the Real Estate Guys, and then themichaelblank.com/event for our event, Deal Maker Live, at the end of July. So let's get into the podcast with Robert Kiyosaki. It was a very interesting conversation because you may not know this about Robert, but he's been changing a lot. Now, when you read his books, you can clearly tell that he cares about financial literacy. He's really fed up with our school system. He's really fed up with our government, really. But more importantly than that, he's talked more and more about spirituality and the importance of that. And for example, on the cruise, he would get up on stage and he would say, well, I don't care if gold goes to 400 or 10,000. It's currently at 1,500, right? So whether it's boom or bust, I don't care. And I was like, I told him, I said, Robert, that's easy for you to say because you're loaded, right? And we had a little chuckle about that. But honestly, the way he is right now in his life is what he really means by he doesn't care which way is this. It's the ultimate form of being where he's at peace no matter what happens. And in our personal lives as well as mine, this is something that I had to learn from the restaurant debacle, is that sometimes you can't control things, and sometimes things can actually get worse. And what do you do about that? Does it sink you into depression? Does it paralyze you with fear? Or do you get to a place like I did where the only option you have is to accept what is and to be at peace with it because you can't change it anyway? And I think this is some place that Robert is as well, and that's what he was talking about. So on the interview, we actually talk about spirituality a lot. So it may be quite a bit different than interviews that you may have heard with Robert. So let's get right into the podcast. Here it is, my interview with Robert Kiyosaki. Robert, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Looking forward to it.
All right, so I don't know if you remember this, but 3 years ago, we met here on this cruise ship, and you gave
it fantastic.
It really is. The Real Estate Guys Summit is fantastic.
Yeah, you want to change your life? Come on this cruise.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You gave a speech. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you were using very spiritual language at the time, which was odd because I know you in the concept of Rich Dad, Cash Flow, which are money books, or at least I thought it was.
Correct.
And you were using some spiritual language, and I came up to you afterwards and I said, Robert, you're using a lot of spiritual language, and you're like, of course, I'm a Marine. And then you went away, and I was like, what does that mean? So what does that mean, Robert?
Well, contrary to popular belief, the military is a very spiritual organization, at least the Marine Corps is. And today we have the Navy SEALs. The best of the best are spiritual organizations. And there's weaker organizations in the military, as you know. But the higher level a person gets in as far as combat goes, the closer you come to the inevitable, life and death. So when I left high school in 1965, I got appointments to the Naval Academy and Merchant Marine Academy in New York. And the academies all start with the military service academies all start with one word, the mission. What is your mission? And that's the word missionaries come from that. So there's missionaries of God and there's missionaries of the military. And so the first word I learned at U.S. Merchant Marine Academy was the mission. And that's spiritual. In the Marine Corps, it's what's the mission. And then so I went into the military. I went to Kings Point for 4 years and then 5 years of the Marine Corps flying in Vietnam. And I finally came out into the real world, as a civilian. And I found out there really is no mission except to make money. Screw them before they screw you. And a lot of companies talk about mission and all that, but I really haven't seen many that had the mission capabilities or the culture of the U.S. Marine Corps. But also while I was in Vietnam, I kind of had a run-in a good way, with the first U.S. Navy SEALs I ever saw. And those Navy SEALs run on the spirituality of what's their mission. And a lot of people think it's about God and service and country. It's not even that high. The mission is to bring your fellow man home. Give your life so the other guy can live. I have not found that in the business world. Everybody's every dog eat dog, every man for himself. We're buddies. Hey, we're here to make money together. But nobody's here to give their life for somebody else. So that's why when I probably said it to you, I'm a Marine. I don't think there's too many people in business willing to give their life for somebody else. But they will rob, cheat, steal, and rape for money, which is quite the antithesis of mission. So anyway, I learned my spiritual discipline came in the U.S. Marine Corps, really, when as I talk about, I crashed 3 times as a pilot. And you get pretty close to God when you're crashing. And you get to realize that it's the boundary of life and death that gets you in touch with God. So anyway, I'm not really religious, but that's where mission comes from. And I am very happy to be with the real estate guys, crews. We're happy to meet guys like you, because our mission is to educate. And unfortunately, our academic system, the school teachers, that's not their mission. Their mission is to make money.
That's right. Well, I noticed you do book studies here on the Real Estate Guys Cruise, which are fascinating. And the last 2 that you've done are, in fact, focused on spirituality. And there's a variety of topics that you love to talk about, and I find that a little surprising. Why is that so important to you?
Well, it's because first of all, I was a C student in school, never very smart. But when people say, well, how in the world did you get to be on Oprah? How did you write an international best-selling book? Because the book sucks. You don't know what you're talking about. Every academic I ran into said, you're a poor writer. And I was told the same thing in school. I flunked out of English twice because I can't write. But I say to people, it's because I'm doing what I think God, and they're not religious. So when I say God, I mean a generic, I don't care what a God is. What God wants done, not what God asks me to do, because that'd be pretty arrogant to think that God would choose me. But what needs to be done, and I just go and do it. Like a lot of people only will study cancer only for one reason. They get paid to study cancer. It's probably some little guy in his backyard right now who's studying cancer on his own because that's what his calling is to do. So when I speak to people, what's your calling? What do you think God wants done? Not what God's asking you to do, because God doesn't care about what you do. So years and years ago, given my military background, academy as well as the Marine Corps, I started looking at there's no financial education in our school systems. And the more I thought about that, I got asking questions, why? Here I was financially free, retired, making more than enough money, and other people are dying. Why is that? Then I realized our academic system's corrupt. And I said, okay, this is a bigger job than the Marine Corps. I'm going to take on school teachers. It's laughable, but it's terrifying. They're terrifying. My father was head of the teachers union. You know what I mean? That's a dangerous organization if you cross them. So they're good people individually, but when you get together as a teachers union, it's a different Megillah, So then I had to, as they say in the Marine Corps, suck it up, and so I'm going to take them on. The DNs in the Democratic National Conventions, the teachers unions are the biggest supporters of the Democratic Party. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I don't take sides in that dogfight. But it's about money. Teachers unions are about one thing, money. That's all they care about. And I know because I grew up inside of those guys. And I got attacked by them and all that, but I'm a Marine. Attack me all you like. I'm used to it. Better people have tried to kill me than a bunch of teachers.
Now, Robert, you have a book coming out called Fake.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What was on your heart when you wrote that?
Well, fake is about fake money, fake teachers, and fake assets. And it goes more in depth than Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Well, as you know, I'm an apartment house investor. That's a real asset because every month those little apartments, man, they put a lot of money in my pocket. I think I have about 7,000 units, plus hotels, plus oil wells and all that. And I have real assets. What Wall Street is selling people are fake assets. 401ks, IRAs, mutual funds, and all that. So you go to the definition of the word, and the word became flesh and dwelt amongst us from the Bible. An asset puts money in your pocket. Wall Street takes money from your pocket. They sell you 401ks, IRAs, mutual funds, ETFs, savings. They just suck cash from your pocket. And they sell you a piece of real estate saying, oh, your house is an asset. I mean, they lie point blank to you. I think the only thing worse than school teachers are financial planners. They're some of the most uneducated people I've ever met, these financial planners. In 6 weeks, you can be a financial planner. It takes 4 years to become a school teacher, at least. So I'm a Marine. I call it as I see it. I kind of find it entertaining. So one is fake assets, fake teachers are. When I came back from Vietnam, my poor dad wanted me to get my PhD like him. PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. So I thought I'd just keep him happy and get my MBA. So I went to the MBA at the program at the University of Hawaii. The first guy I run into is a fake school teacher. And this guy's teaching me accounting. And here I am sitting there in my Marine pilot's outfit. I'm getting spit on by the students because everybody hated the military back in the 60s and 70s. And I take on the teacher. This guy was younger than me. I said, are you an accountant? And he gave me some sidestep and a little swish and swiggle of the mouth. I said, mister, I'm a Marine officer. I said, answer the question. Are you an accountant? The rubber teeth mode and all this. And finally he admits, no, I'm a graduate student in accountancy. So you've never done any accountancy, have you? He goes, no. I said, well, why don't you tell the truth? From A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. I said, just tell me the truth. You don't know anything about accounting, do you? Well, I'm a graduate student in accounting. I said, do you know anything about accounting? Have you done any accountancy work at all? And now the students are booing and hissing me because I'm taking on the teacher. All they want to do is graduate and go become fake teachers themselves, I said, I don't want to learn from you. So I got kicked out of school as usual. But anyway, that was fake teachers. And then fake money was, in 1971, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard on October 15th, 1971. During the TV show Bonanza, Nixon comes on and says, hey, guess what, sports fans? U.S. dollar's coming off the gold standard. Well, nobody cared. They just wanted to watch Bonanza. That was his big announcement. Nobody knew. So in 1972, I'm flying in Vietnam. And I said, I wonder what gold looks like. It's kind of hard to imagine this. In 1971 and 2, it was illegal for Americans to own gold. So being a curious mind, I said, why is it illegal for us to own gold? And what does gold look like? Because I didn't know what it looked like. None of us could own it because we went to jail if we owned gold. They would confiscate it from us. So I decided I'd go find what gold was. So the book Fake starts with me flying behind enemy lines because the lines had shifted. What was once American lines was now behind enemy lines. We're losing the war. We all knew we had lost, And I go behind the lines and I find this little woman selling gold for the Vietnamese gold mine. So I had to park my helicopter. We disarmed. We showed the villagers we're unarmed. We came in with hands up. We said we came as capitalists, not Marines. I just came to buy some gold, So we go to the mining store, and I thought because it was behind enemy lines, I could get a discount. So let's say that day gold was 35 an ounce, but now it's about $50 an ounce. So I thought I could get it for maybe 40, $10 discount. And this little old lady with red teeth, because she ate betel nuts, they all had red teeth. She just cracked up. She says, "You want a discount?" I said, "Lady, you're behind enemy lines, and I got U.S. dollars." She says, "Yeah, but I got gold." And I went, "Well, who do you think you are?" And she looked at me, "Who do you think you?" It was just silent communication. And she turned out to be one of my best teachers in my whole life. She taught me something important. Gold is money. All over the world, gold is gold. That day, all over the world, the spot price was, say, $50. Today it's about $1,300. I learned such valuable lessons with people. I don't think she went to Harvard or Oxford. She was a little Vietnamese peasant, but she knew what gold was. So my book, Fake, starts off with there's three kinds of money today. There's God's money, gold and silver. Okay? And I go into why it's God's money. The second is government money, which is fiat currency, U.S. dollar, the yen, the peso, the yuan, and the euro. It's fake money, government money. And the third is people's money now, Bitcoin and those things. So we have a lot of choices in money. My prediction is the U.S. dollar cannot last much longer, and that's reflected in the price of gold. So when I bought my first ounce of gold, I paid about $50 for it in Hong Kong because it was illegal. Today, I still have that same Krugerrand. I bought it in Hong Kong in 1972. It's worth about $1,500. Now, did gold get more valuable, or did the dollar come down in value? So that's what fake is about. It's to open people's minds and go, you might be being lied to by our own government. You might be being lied to. Just might be. And you look at politics today, what's his name? Bernie Sanders looks like a moderate now. You got so many communists running against him. I can't believe it, the socialists. You got AOC, you got Pocahontas. It's a Jerry Springer show. And then on the other side, you got Donald Trump. If you don't sit back and look at politics and laugh, you're going to shoot yourself. It's so bad right now, it's funny. And that's why I wrote Fake.
When I first came on this Real Estate Guys cruise 3 years ago, it really opened my eyes to have people like you, but other people talk about all this stuff. And I was like, well, I shouldn't be focusing on anything I can't control. But ignorance is no excuse, right? You can't go into a storm blind. And so I really appreciate all the education that you're doing. And I will encourage everyone listening to this, and there's a lot of you guys and gals, to go out and buy this book, Fake, because it's really going to raise your level of awareness, and you have to know about these things as you're getting into apartment building investing. And so definitely buy this book. So Robert, I really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you. And keep up the good work, because I love real estate. To me, real estate, well managed, well financed, is a real asset. A mutual fund is not. So thank you very much.
So there you have it. Robert Kiyosaki, everyone. Really excited to finally connect with Robert, and I was able to do it in person. Really, really awesome. If you want to catch him yourself, you can catch him on the Real Estate Guys Summit at Sea next year. I think sometimes in March and April. I'm already signed up. If you want to sign up, go to themichaelblank.com/guys. Scroll all the way down and get on their waiting list. Again, it's not cheap, and it's a 9-day investment. So, but if you want to perform at a much higher level than what you are right now, you should consider it. So there you go. Robert talks a lot about education, financial literacy. So if that's something for you and you feel like you really want to jumpstart and accelerate your multifamily investing, check out our mentorship program. It's themichaelblank.com/mentor. And it's really, really good if you want to accelerate that and you want to go bigger faster. So our students are really getting really extraordinary results very, 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 very quickly. So you can schedule a free call with us at themichaelblank.com/mentor and see if it's right for you, because it's not right for everyone. There's certainly investment of your resources in that, and we're looking for the right kind of person as well. So check that out if that's for you. And also, don't forget, we have Dealmaker Live coming up July 26th and 27th in Dallas. That's at themichaelblank.com/event. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening, watching. Catch you guys in the next episode. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, as the next step, download this ebook right here. Okay? When you've downloaded that, make sure you also subscribe to my YouTube channel, because then you can get all of the videos that I release as soon as I release. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. Click on that right now. And then also make sure that this is the next best video to watch is this one right here. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll catch you next time.